mostly just gonna be playing this game for the weekend. So I did some of it yesterday and today. So hopefully we finish off chapter 1 and start chapter 2 probably tomorrow. And I'll play more Trails of Mana tomorrow. I'm probably gonna do a long stream. It depends. Today is my brother's birthday, so depends on later on if we're gonna do anything. So let's see if we have any coins. We got 2. Get the guide up for gifts. Last time what happened was Saika died. Okay, let's go on. Save. And just let me use the restroom real quick before we get started. I'll be right back. When I'm done streaming, it'll be on my YouTube channel, Kingdom Hearts Slayer. So look at that when I'm done. Might be stream more tomorrow, it depends. Okay, let's go. got notification on my phone. Yeah, we just saw the video. I think now we're gonna head to the gym. Gym. Talk to people there. Yeah, Juko died. Just as we know her. So, let's go. Hero. Hey, Hero. Hoping I can ask you something.
Huh?
Huh? Oh, what is it? Before she died, Sarika left a message. She wrote on numbers 11037. Do you have any idea what these numbers might mean? Like, could it be a code or something? Sorry, no. Hero slowly shook her head.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I didn't know. Okay, well, don't worry about it. Thanks for trying. Or maybe she knows more than hang on. No, couldn't be. Hey, Hero. No, you have to no, I gotta get out of here. Gotta get out of here now. Not enough. Get break free. Hey, Hero, snap out of it. Oh, Makoto, what are you doing here? What? Hey, that seems so familiar. Huh? That's my crystal ball. It's Smash. What the? Oh, Smash, what the heck?
What the heck?
I only bought this product because the guy said it was blessed. Said it was the unbreakable. But how did it break?
What?
Was it actually just made of glass, not crystal? The guy totally doped me. It says it belongs to the pillars of history. Genghis Khan, George Washington, Napoleon. It says whoever controls the crystal ball controls the world. This series is all BS. Let's put that aside for now. So you can say without doubt that this belongs to you. Yeah, that's mine for sure. I totally forgot in the laundry room last night. Someone must have come in and snatched it. He left it in the laundry room. Means anyone could have gone in and taken it. Shadow Crystal Ball has been updated. Thanks, Hero. That's all I want to know. Sure. And by the way, I'm not afraid of fast, but how much do you pay for that thing? Everything I saved up for fortune telling for 2 full years. Come out to be like $1 million. $1 million? That's pretty cheap, actually, me considering it gives you power to control the world. That's just too stupid. I can't even feel bad for him. Yeah. Totally got Kong. Now on to the class trial. Sorry for that.
I'm getting tired of waiting. What say we just get started, It's time for the long-awaited class trial! Now then, allow me to appoint a proper location for the proceedings.
Yes, I might be able to get to chapter 2. It depends. If not busy. I might get up to chapter 2 daily lives and stuff out of the way.
Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
Red door on the first floor. That's where I should go. Know where I have to go. Gotta save. You're late, Makoto. We all been waiting for you. I bet you're afraid we discovered there's a murderer. You are.
Listen to me!
Let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Save that for a class trial. I can't feel details of Tsugo's crimes. I really think I did, but I didn't do it. Me and Tanya both know how too well. But then who is the killer? The only one murdered Taika. Really one of us?
Is everyone here? Okay then. Please board the elevator in front of you, which will transport you to the courtroom, where all your fates will be decided. I'll meet you all down there. I'll be waiting.
Got it!
Relax, I have time 110 years to cope with that. Maybe, but y'all can lean that way.
Well then.
Oh, dang it. Oh, well.
Yes,
Good
indeed.
idea.
Hey,
Are you scared? No, I'm scared.
Makoto.
Right. Said it before, but it's up to you to enjoy the mystery surrounding Fate yourself. If you don't, you know, come grasp it's true. Never try to step, and at least someone else tell me how to do that. But, we'll kill it. I started troubles and anticipating towards the elevator. Each step forward, feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. Enough story never. When I finally stepped on, the door closed and the elevator started moving. Steel box descended with heavy clicking sound towards school basement. One of his how death row in Mansfield, and his time is finally come.
Oh!
Other than that, it's not more like defendant ready to receive his judgment. Honestly, I share anxiety. Nobody lower, that's further and further into balls in school. You're fine, yay! Sorry, that. What do you think? Does it feel like a real courtroom? Like a Halloween movie set, right?
Shit.
Not even close. Total whack.
Well now.
Okay, everyone, find your assigned seats and sit down.
Yahoo!
Hurry up now, hurry up! We did what you said, find our seats. Stein was raised in a giant circle, stood up to their own to see everyone else. Ultimate D's brain was to transfer their attention and leave them to anyone else. The air seemed to go heavy as he sat there. So the curtain on our first page opened. A deadly judgment, deadly testament, deadly betrayal, deadly riddle, defense, deadly class trial. Ah, boy. Opening handbook. Let me pause this right here, because I don't want to go anywhere when the class trial is going, so I'll be right back after these commercial breaks. You want to get up there, you whole class trial? Skills. Stop that. Still Minecraft again. Excuse me. Combos will increase the tempo. During battle time, ballots be... Okay, let's go.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then, everyone close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
Oh, for me. Why? He's not my favorite character.
Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin!
About to begin, the debate decides who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I know, it has to be ready to speak up about anything. This is what means everyone's lives online. Today's progress during each class trial engage a number of non-stop debates. During the discussion, characters will now speak one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearthing lies or conductions vary within the statement. Which means you have to use the truth bullets to what they say. Two cylinders, instant fire. What intensity each character's means just like the last one. Note that if you run out of time, you are making fail, so please be careful. Hold. Good. Have on.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono!
Yeah, we know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, what's wrong? Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
Struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom?
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
He determined what used to kill Sayaka. This is really good music.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon.
So the killer used some random knife they had on him.
No, that's wrong! No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we've presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
He's right. There'll be a breakthrough somewhere. Just wait to find it. Because they know dang well I'm not the killer. Or the Yeah, I know that already. Yeah, I know that.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right?
I love the music in this game.
Nobody... No, that's wrong! Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. When my friends made tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives was gone. So you say the kitchen disappeared while you're drinking tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear. If there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case! Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that? I can.
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, but it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy?
But I'm a girl.
Oh, yeah.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
Oh, boy.
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
What are you talking about?
Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Sayaka? Okay, so the person took the knife was...
I got it! Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
And the person who took the knife was the victim herself!
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all!
Oh, boy.
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
Dang it. If they don't take them down, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they kill me,
Hold on.
die.
It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there.
I bet.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Not at all. Something about that should have been a crime scene, but wasn't there. What's the point? Figure out what that something is.
Now I understand! That's right! There wasn't a single hair on the floor!
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Yes, very true, very true!
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then, Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
The killer struggled getting in the bathroom, and proves it. Now the killer is...
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up merely removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto—
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
I almost didn't notice at first, but that's the key point here.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door, because Sayaka had locked it.
And finally, the culprit had Sayaka cornered.
To finish the job, they stabbed her with the kitchen knife.
It was you! We already know the answer.
The incident took place in Makoto's room.
Sayaka was first, she then fled into the...
Then the killer ran, and they got into the back. At that point, the killer...
Because Sayaka had locked it.
No, that's wrong! The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with walk-in bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door... That's not lucky at all!
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
So they don't know if the doors actually can be locked. So in other words, important detail is the scene took place in Sayaka's room. My room.
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable!
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through!
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
I'm trying to
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up! Quit without saving!
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules!
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
See, I got me didn't check that right. It was right here. Sayaka's room was.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. Even if someone is you. Even though it's yours, you. I absolutely won't open it, otherwise, what's the point of you switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
Talking to you about just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplate, make sure you don't get the wrong one, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appear.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
That note, Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then, pay attention. Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says,
my room.
Okay.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place it specifically says, my...
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly.
The room with Makoto.
No, that's wrong.
Sorry,
the nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right.
Okay, then who did it?
Person could switch nameplates. Person could know me. Like...
I got it!
Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
Now we're talking about the two of us. Come to 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplate, make sure you don't get wrong from
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
Yeah. No. I'll do that in a bit. I'll take it when you switch it. Okay? Like that. I'll be right back. Just have to help with garbage. BRB. There is hero for it. Sorry about it, I'm back. Just had to help my brother take out the garbage. He got me a drink and got me gushers. I was going to scratch the tile. I need my syrup. Probably gonna take later. So, I have to room this. I got
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
Sorry, but that means some gushers. Guys are good.
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
The reason I know Sayaka broke her wrist with fixed swords because of the that's Sayaka's wrist.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room? Let me be clear. Alright, getting used to these non-stop debates.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
No, it's wrong. Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead! Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you are going to attack with the sword, you take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it. So here's how the culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Important part is to use the sword. One who uses the sword, you have to use it.
Shoot!
No.
I got it! You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
No, that's not it at all.
No, it's actually not solo, because I'm replacing
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
Oh, my.
You're no different. You smell like a big, fat, ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
An insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
I got it! Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
What?
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... On me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
She was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument! You're being super boring right now! Come on, hurry up and decide who did it! Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really over? Obviously, I commit to find out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
No, that's wrong! There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dying? Wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood. There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
Of course, exactly what message I wrote.
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What?
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers.
Okay. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Had to help my mom real quick. Okay. Let's see if we can finish this. Then I'm gonna make myself some dinner soon. So after this class trial, I'll be done for the night.
Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
But even if that really is an N, N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Dang it. No, yes, I just don't know.
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Huh? Why is it? Maybe I see something.
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right on to who did it. So, whose name did she write?
Saga-san met real killer's name. By turning 180 degrees, it was so clear.
Here's my answer. The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees. If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N, or more accurately, Leon.
What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence. It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence Leon tried to get rid of?
The evidence Leon tried to get rid of. The thing that found ground in the incinerator.
I got it! You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them. And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
That's right! There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Yeah, I think so.
Very amazing. I'm not sure, but the killer always was able to do it. I think that needs to pay attention. How was it so?
I got it! If you look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either. You'd need the key to get in. And the one... So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Interesting.
No, that's wrong. There's another way to use the finger without being on clean duty. That can prove to Leon's real killer.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but
But how would you use it?
Says use the crystal pad.
I got it! The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate.
Now that puts me in. I'm gonna probably just play up to the chapter 2 beginning. And I'll post the rest of it on YouTube. I'll be eating dinner soon and just celebrate my brother's birthday.
All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Someone threw that through a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi?
Huh? Someone turned the incinerator on? Very strange. My certainly was off last time I was down here. Perhaps it's the work of the fairy.
Hifumi had the key, so the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate. Once they got the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire. If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Wait, no, just hold on.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? The pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass ball that far and hit something that small. Could someone really do that?
That's right. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so. Because the killer is...
Could be much more talented than the killer is.
I got it!
Star.
Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious. I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
You still won't admit it? Okay then. Makoto, go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear. And with that, we can end this.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered. Now here's what happened.
So the argument. Okay, so we got the killer standing by the door. Person Saika attacked the killer with a knife. I noticed something in my room. They used the object to fight Saika's attack. As the killer continued to attack Saika, the attack stating that. Working back on the way. After she was stabbed, Saika is not the strength to leave him behind. Kill your time to my room to help dispose of the evidence. The object killer to activate the bomb in a minute. Careful incinerator was. These evidence left behind in the trash room. Let me see here.
Here's exactly what happened. I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning. Last night, the killer went to the room Sayaka was in. In other words, my room. From what we can tell, Sayaka invited that person there intending to kill them. She attacked them with the knife she'd taken from the kitchen earlier. But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back. During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist.
Okay. Okay, so not that one. The force bathroom door, no more please. At the zero stab, that gives lesser strength left behind. This part was right.
The killer is you! During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist. And that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen knife. Finding herself cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open. What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily, and there was a trick to opening it. Sayaka knew about that because I told her, but of course the killer had no way of knowing.
Okay, so it's not that one. Okay, so it's not that one. Okay, so this one. I can see.
Here's exactly what happened. Finding herself cornered, the killer went after. What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck. Sayaka knew about that because I told her.
Okay, that's correct.
So instead, the killer forced the door open, took the kitchen knife, and stabbed Sayaka.
Okay, that's correct.
But with what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message. To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that, all her strength was gone. With Sayaka dead, the killer quickly began destroying the evidence. First, they took off their shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood.
Okay, that's correct.
Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area.
Sorry for that.
They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there. Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room to destroy their bloody shirt. They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator there, but the trash room was blocked off by an especially sturdy gate, preventing access to the incinerator. So they came up with a plan to use Hiro's crystal ball, which he'd left in the laundry room. The killer managed to throw the ball through the gap in the gate and hit the incinerator switch. For any normal person, that'd be an impossible throw. But the killer had the confidence to take a shot. And that's because the killer was the ultimate baseball star. The crystal ball, thrown with absolute precision, hit the switch on the incinerator, which then quickly roared to life. Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they left the area with, I imagine, a sigh of relief. But there was one thing they missed. Part of the shirt they'd thrown into the fire burnt away and fell out of the incinerator. The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence. Isn't that right, Leon? It would appear that Hiro simply forgot his crystal ball in the laundry room. You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt, and that's where you saw it, right? Seeing the ball, you thought of a way to take care of everything.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object! I object! I object!
Face the guilty murderer.
I mean, all of this is just a bunch of stupid theories! You need evidence! Where's the evidence? Without evidence, it's all bullshit! It's bullshit and I refuse to acknowledge it!
Well then, I guess this is as good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence.
I have evidence. Sorry about that.
When the killer removed the screws from the doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do it. Instead, they must have used something that belonged to them.
I refuse to acknowledge you! You're stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid! Stupid, 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 stupid!
This is evidence Leon's killer has been figured out. True.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lie! Stop talking! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! Stupid! You lie! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lie! Stop talking! Shut up! Where's your proof? Where's your proof?
This should prove it!
That guy has students.
The screws on the bathroom doorknob were removed. I wonder what kind of tool the killer used to remove them.
I mean, it had to be a screwdriver, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the toolkits we got each had one inside.
And that must be what he used. There aren't any other tools anywhere.
But the toolkit in my room had clearly never been used.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in Sayaka's room.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then whose toolkit did the killer use?
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
It had to be their very own toolkit.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Leon, would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, then the screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Huh? And if you say you used it for something else, you'll have to explain exactly when, where, and why.
And let me say this right now. I lost it isn't an excuse at this point.
Stupid!
Well, he lost it.
So, you have no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
Whew. Well, that's a weird imagery. Rank A! Rank A!
Looks like you've reached your verdict. Then are we ready to cast our votes? You all have a lever in front of you. Use it to make your selection. Oh, just to remind you all.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish after this one. I'm gonna get started on chapter 2. Probably sometime this week. I just have to make dinner.
Make triple sure you vote for someone. You wouldn't want to be punished for something so minor, right? Okay, then let's get excited! Who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Looks like you got it right on the money. Blackened, in this case, the one who killed Sayaka was none other than Neon Karata.
Huh?
Huh?
Hey, hold on.
Hold on a second. Neon? Neon, do you really kill Sayaka? But I don't believe it.
You son of a bitch!
Son, what the heck is wrong with you?
I didn't have a choice.
Let's kill or be killed.
So, that's why...
That's why I killed her first.
None of you are any different!
None of you are any different. One wrong step, maybe you want to stand me here. Please, chance I could wind up like this.
I was just... unlucky. That's all. Hey! Come on!
You expect me to just accept my death? Everything became clear. This is made right after all. But when I think about it, honestly, better off than getting wrong. So, what we come up with is really the truth. Truth that Sayaka was trying to frame me, but even if it's true, I couldn't say he was wrong. After all, the mastermind is all because of that video. Even I couldn't handle what I saw. If I was her and the video actually had something to do with me, I can imagine. Now we're trapped here with no way out. Probably waiting for me.
Why?
I can't afford to be stuck in here. There's only one thing more important than her than anything else. It's her dreams, her friends. To have something like that happen to them. And Sayaka.
I
did whatever I took I did whatever I took to reach that dream. I mean, even some things aren't so pleasant. And that's why Sayaka, we're friends. That's why she betrayed me. But when she said,
no matter what happens, please always be there for me. I need you on my side.
she's lying to me from very big. She's using me. That's why she talked to me in the first place? I guess I'll never know. There's nothing I can do to ask her what she's thinking. Once you're dead, that's that. Boy, howdy. It's interesting. It must be terrifying, right? I mean, trying to kill someone just because of those relationships.
Ba-bum.
She seems so nice and lovely on the outside, but on the inside, she sends into pure madness. Wait, what are you saying?
Phew.
I understand, really, I do. Yep. The other despair thinks to Sayaka's betrayal, right? Profession, intimate, love. The stronger those feelings, the stronger the despair when they collapse. Stop screwing with us. It's all your fault. Sayaka's being forced to do something like this. All of it. Everything. It's all your fault. Nothing caught a buzz.
That's enough.
That's enough. And yeah, well, it's charged lots of my armor that I've had Satan. It's like iron, strong enough to seriously bruise.
Calm down.
If you really want to make her enemies pay for what they've done, you need to let go for now. Dang it.
Ba-bum.
That was a good one. I thought for sure you were going to give me a good bob. Especially for these punishments you did.
Yes, indeed.
Now then, since you're so mad to be revealed in it, I didn't have to kill her during the class trial. The Blackened Neon Karata will receive his punishment.
Punishment? You mean execution? Wait a second!
I don't have a choice. I killer.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I'll just protect myself. Need a moment of self-defense.
Is that okay?
How savvy was it? Self-defense. Were you forced your way into the bathroom? Or did you not use your very own tool clip? And she cleared herself in the bathroom and went after her on the way back to her own room. Then he came all the way back, broke into her bathroom, and killed her. Am I wrong?
Do you understand?
You had number 10 stop what he was doing, but yet choose not to. That was because you had unclear intent to commit murder.
So, that's why...
No, that's not. Stop it. I had enough of this.
Oh,
I swear you were close to her than anyone. Were you not? He chose your precious Saika. You not understand? I can't see the spirit is late. Of course I don't blame on Saika either. Because I want to blame is him.
Huh?
Say what? In your reviews, it's never what happened to Saika or Leon. They're gonna be fighting each other. I guess one of the put us in this situation is mastermind.
Unbelievable.
Oh, do you reckon this is justice?
Hey,
But if it happens, there's nothing more than unethical than unsavory sense of justice. After all, the people that were mentality, the perpetrator of wars all over the world. That kind of justice that awakens within you? Just shut up. Okay, well, anyway, more importantly...
Chills!
Good, so who's doing work?
I'm begging you! Please, don't do this!
Hey!
No more begging,
Come
no more
on
excuses.
now.
You must pay for penalty for breaking the rules. The time to grant it.
Stop! Please!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment!
For Leon Chora, the ultimate baseball star.
No!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
No!
Oh man. Oh man. What we saw, that was the true face of despair. I mean, if we couldn't call it that, what else would we call it?
Extreme!
Whoa, extreme! I'm right out of control. What's going on?
I can't take it.
Do you gonna keep doing this? I can't take it.
Well?
Hey, if you don't like it. All you gotta do is try to cut all ties with the outside world, effectively here forever. Only every single one gets more of that.
Damn you!
Man, what the heck are you doing all this legal stuff?
What the heck?
Evil? You think you're telling us on the dark off? He's some society type guy.
Say what?
Or in case a dark, awful, secret society type of bear.
Well...
So why are you upstanding young citizen like me to this growing ordeal?
Hey,
If these are common sense, makes sense for something that doesn't make sense. It's going mile on scale, and just thinking possibilities. I don't think you're saying what I'm saying quite fit together.
Shit.
So, I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna pound your in the ground. That's right, make us get going, yeah. If you did that, you're working way up the wrong tree. What happens is, more than one of you decided you want to get out, right? No matter how much time passed, you can't cut free of your regrets from the outside world. You're to blame. Of course you can't cut free from the outside world. Being trapped in the same place. You're trapped, are you? I'm sure once you learn all the mysterious of the school, you think you will change for sure. You think, oh well, isn't it so wonderful that we all get to live here forever?
What does this mean?
What are you trying to say?
Hey.
I feel like I'm leaving me in there. Just like before.
Chills! Chills! Chills!
That's what everyone's waiting for, after all.
Hey.
Why are you saying everyone? Who exactly are you referring to? Sorry, I said everything I got to say. I need to say something fun for later. Exactly, he was gone. He left us there, overwhelmed by nightmare turned reality. Even after he's gone, we stood there forever, unable to move. Actually, no, it wasn't that long, I think. No one just lost their sense of time. We're all too scared. Scared of being alone. No one even tried to speak. The face was stone, the face was dead. But at that moment...
Just a second.
Makoto, can I talk to you for a second? He went closer to me here.
Makoto.
Before we head back, there's something I want to talk to you about. About Saika, isn't it? I'm surprised you figured it out.
Listen.
I told you before the quest trial started. You had to figure out the mystery of the case yourself. You want me to realize how Saika betrayed me by myself, didn't you? It never crossed my mind. I feel like I'm such a fool becomes an easy target like that.
It's true.
Saika meant to double-cross you. The fact that you never changed. Even to the very end, she wasn't sure. This isn't. That's why. She lay dying. She was thinking of you. Thinking of me? You can't just say something like that. I mean, no way you can know that. Only Saika would know for sure. We can ask her now.
However...
Even you can ask her. Can you share it? Don't you think? Her final thought was how to protect you. What?
So...
Back to use her last ounce of her energy with leave a dying message to prove it. Didn't care what happened to you, she never left a message. Or maybe she wanted to get back to the person who killed her.
Certainly.
That's certainly one possibility. But I don't think that was...
Anyway...
She was uncertain. She was sure she could kill someone to deceive you, which is why her plan failed. Her uncertain tracked failure.
Right.
Well, ironic if you didn't think about it. Why are you telling me this? Because you're a kind person who can overcome this. Because you can move past the death of your friends, Saika and Leon, and keep moving forward. Without someone like that, the others would never be able to break free of such a desperate situation. Move past their deaths? I can never do that. No. I'm gonna carry on with the rest of my life. How come I move past something like that? You know, Doctor? Saika? I'll get him her. Wherever I go. Instead of forgetting, we choose the hard road. Oh, hi, it's just easy for you. That's you, feel.
Hey.
By the way, Anthony, I'm curious. How do you know I want to talk to you about Saika? Oh, well... Psychic.
What?
What? Kidding. Good intention. And done! With chapter 1. Three students dead, 12 remaining. To be continued. Let me just say it. Share back. Yes. And that'll be it for all. So hopefully, you all have a good night. And have a beautiful day. Bye y'all.